what ended the Rams season was special teams. Again, their special teams has been bad all year. They changed coordinators. But by the way, they had a good special teams coach. It's not his fault players can't make it.
Let's go to Jeff Kerr. Has joined us right here on Birds 365. Let's bring him in right now. Jeff, welcome into the show. Jeff, you got about 4 days left before you start to get absolutely shredded for having the Christmas tree up. But we appreciate you being here today, my man. How you doing on this Monday morning?
By the way, I just got mine down. I was really late too. I just got mine down on Saturday.
I can't blame you, Jeff. Believe me, I can't blame you.
You know what's funny, guys? So, funny story with the Christmas tree. I was going to take it down when we had the snow. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever? And my sister and my nephew were over, and my nephew's only like 4 months old, right? But he likes to train under the tree. And she's like, well, Mikey likes to train. I'm like, well, I guess Mikey's going to keep the Christmas tree.
That's the perfect excuse, John, to have your tree.
It really is. Like I always say, I want to take it down by conference championship weekend. I'm like, John, and it's not down yet.
Yeah, I finally got it. Well, I just got it the day before, so I just got it down. Yeah, but we have a ton of ornaments. My wife goes overboard with the ornaments. You can't even see the tree. There's so many ornaments on this.
That's how I am. I got a bunch of Disney stuff on here, and a lot of it's not even like Christmas related. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll keep them up as long as I can. I spend money on them.
There you go, Jeff. I like it.
But I get to a point where, because it's a seasonal thing, so you're like excited at the beginning of it, and then at the end it's like I got to get out. I got to get out of this thing, and that's sort of the circumstance for me. Now, I guess we'll start with the championship games before we get to the OC search, which is turning into just a who will take this job mentality, even though I don't think that's the way it's going, but. From the championship games, obviously early on, it was nice in Denver, and then all of a sudden it turns into a blizzard. So a lot of people say you got to have domes, Jeff. Where are you on that circuit? You got, and then it turns into that game. A lot of people like it, but I mean, you're not getting an accounting. That second half is among the worst conditions I've ever seen.
It kind of felt like the Fog Bowl in the sense, like back in 1988, whoever had the lead when the weather came was going to win that game, and everybody's crucifying Sean Payton for not kicking it in the second quarter, which kind of thought he should have to take a 10-0 lead, but that's in hindsight, right? And I don't blame him for wanting. Basically, we had a chance to go 14-0, and then I like the original play I called, and we changed it, and. It didn't work, but see, look, I think football should be playing all elements: rain, snow, sleet, hail, wind, whatever. It's part of the game, and I just don't like that whole. It's unfair to determine a Super Bowl recipient because of the snow. Well, why not? Like we played great football games in the snow. I know everybody likes to see glorified arena football, but. Like to me,
they really do like offense because the next game was all offense.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Where you said, and everybody likes offense. Everybody just likes offense. And I got news for you. For most of the NFL, there wasn't a lot of offense this year. It was a bad year for the offenses in this league.
It was a bad year for quarterbacks, too. By the way, isn't the Super Bowl, the matchup, aren't the Seahawks and the Patriots two of the top 5 defenses?
Yeah, very good defenses. Well, that's I always laugh because I'm a Sam Darnold guy, and I took my spiking of the football, and the guy's done what he's done. I respect his ability to bounce back from early troubles and develop into a guy who can win 14 games 2 consecutive years. Now he's in the Super Bowl, and you'll still hear, Jeff. You will still hear up until he wins the thing, if he wins the thing. Well, he only got there because of his defense. He only got it. Can you name one quarterback who's gotten the Super Bowl with a bad supporting cast? Because I can't. That is the dumbest argument in the world.
I hate that when they rip on Trent Dilfer too. Like Trent Dilfer replaced Tony Banks in the middle of that season, but people don't want to remember that or just don't follow the history of the game. Tony Banks was god awful, and they wanted a guy to stabilize that offense because they knew how good that defense was. And Dilfer did that. And oh, by the way, Dilfer had a pretty solid Super Bowl, if I recall, when Baltimore kicked the crap out of the Giants. So, yeah, it's a team effort. Look, Sam Darnold balled out yesterday. It wasn't like Sam Darnold had Drake May has had a team carry him.
Yeah, Drake May's been bad in the playoffs. Flat out
Really
bad.
big. He only had 86 yards yesterday.
Well, I mean, part of that
is
the second half. You know, it was interesting. You mentioned Peyton not going for it. Obviously, that's people complaining about results, but whatever. You know, early on, I wasn't paying tremendous attention to the Denver weather, but they had mentioned throughout the broadcast that it was, well, there's going to be some flurries in the second half. That's it. That's what was expected. So I think a lot of people are looking at Sean Payton like, you know what was coming. Why didn't you take the points? Yeah. That wasn't supposed to come.
Yeah, my buddy's a producer for the A-Team on CBS, and he works with Tracy Wolfson every week. And Evan Washburn was on the other sideline. He gets a text from Washburn during the game. He goes, "I don't have a hat. That was not supposed to happen."
Yeah.
What happened
Crazy.
yesterday?
I don't know how weird that is for Denver. I don't have a lot. I've been there a number of times, but I don't have, obviously it snows there a lot. But that seemed to surprise everybody. Not just the teams. And you saw the slipping right away when it started in the field. It got really bad really quickly. And yeah, at that point it became the team with the and I thought Vrabel played it well. He didn't try anything. He was like, all right, we're going to go win this game with defense. And it worked. So he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, we got the lead. If they kick a field goal to tie it, they tie it. But for you Dome fans, Denver's one of the teams that they're getting a dome next decade.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be few and far between. Then you had the angsty Eagles fans who are like, nobody's winning that type of game here because of the weather that was going on here.
Man, I got a story for you. A lot of you Eagles fans on this channel know this. I remember no one was supposed to beat the Eagles in the last game at the Vet either under 40 degrees, and they got shellacked.
Yeah.
So,
but beyond and you know what would have happened here? They would have canceled the game and played it on Tuesday. So That's
that was my pet peeve yesterday, John. All these people taking pictures of the snow and in Philly and this and this. I'm like, yeah, did you have to shovel it? Because I did. I'm pretty sure you guys did.
Oh man, don't even get me started. I had to get we had a lot of ice down here.
We did too.
South Jersey after the snow, and that makes it 10 times worse because so the first one wasn't that bad. I got pretty significant snow, but I shoveled that. And then the ice came and it was over. It was just, so much worse than snow.
So I went out at 11 and there was probably about 8 or 9 on the ground. We ended up getting a foot. And yeah, that was easy. And then I went out around 6 o'clock with my dog last night. My dog likes to chase me and run around in the snow. And it's just ice. And it took like double the time just to get rid of the ice. I'm glad it's gone, but that was pain.
It's brutal. It's when it goes snow, ice, after, and then it gets real cold overnight. It's impossible to shovel. That's what's happened here.
I was hoping for 2 feet with no ice.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have that.
Yeah, but
I don't want that either. But I'd rather if I had the choice, I'd take the pure snow.
No doubt. All right, Jeff. If you were the Eagles right now, who'd you be hiring as the OC? Jim Bob Cooter?
I'm probably more on board with Jim Bob Cooter than a lot of other people are.
Jim Bob.
It is what it is. I think it's I recognize that this job is not going to be for the people who, have autonomy or want autonomy or maybe still have pedigree. I mean, you're looking for somebody that's willing to fit into the Eagles system, which is interesting compared to other places.
Yeah, and look, there are a couple names they've interviewed I like Declan Doyle. I think he would
I
be.
forgot to mention Declan. Yeah, he's my guy. I should have
Yeah,
mentioned
he's
Declan.
very intriguing. That's one of those like outside the box hires. You're like, okay, I could see him wanting to come here and getting a chance to call plays. And if it's Nick's offense or not, I think if you're bringing in a guy like Declan Doyle, you're one to hear what he's learned over the years. So I kind of would like that. I think Davis Webb's going to get head coaching opportunities. So I kind of think he's out. He'll probably get the Raiders job. That's what I'm assuming. Joe Brady, I like, but I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere. There's still a head coaching job opening. They've interviewed Nate Shieldhouse a couple years ago. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, look, there are names I like. Just because Mike McDaniel and
Why
whoever,
was Mike McDaniel? Why was Mike McDaniel the be all end all? What am I missing?
because he's like the anti whatever they do on offense. I think
No,
that's
not
what they
just
were
here
looking.
though. I mean, the guys that like options all
Mhm.
over the place. Like, why did everybody in this league? Is it just he's a Shanahan guy? Is it just that?
Yeah, I think it is. But Shanahan guys, I mentioned this on X today because I clicked the For You tab. There was not enough conversation about how Sean McVay poorly managed that game yesterday.
Well, he manages every game poorly. Whether that's the prior week, it was god awful. He's
Yeah.
trying to hand the game to
Yeah.
Chicago, trying
Yeah.
to hand it to them.
I got a text from my dad yesterday watching the game, and he goes, "Why do people get so up in arms over how Nick Sirianni acts on the sidelines or how Brian Dable acts on the sidelines, but Sean McVay's acting like he's a 5-year-old every time someone scores, like a coach does, and it's okay." And I said, "Because he's boy wonder and no one else is."
Well, I don't have a problem with emotion, but
No, I don't
sure,
either. But
I didn't even sense that game. Like Chicago, I thought was an abject disaster from both of them as
Mhm.
far as game management went. Ben Johnson and Sean McVay. I thought it was an abject disaster. I didn't think it was terrible in this Seattle game. What is everybody complaining about from a game management standpoint?
the whole when it was 31-26, he kicked. He didn't go for two.
Oh,
Yeah, the fourth down, and that led to the fourth down decision later. If he kicks, maybe he gets the ball back. He didn't end up he didn't get the ball back until the very
so
end.
results. I should know better. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
know.
it's all results. I thought at the time.
I thought the worst part, and I blame this on Matthew Stafford as well, and I rarely, because I think Matthew Stafford played unbelievably.
He
I thought
did.
he was amazing. I thought he was even better than Darnold. Phenomenal game. But in that situation, they're moving the ball, they're moving the ball, they're moving the ball. And what was it? 4th and 4, maybe? Fourth
Yeah,
and 3?
fourth and 4.
4th and 4. But he went even on the third down. So it was 3rd and 4. And they tried to pick on Witherspoon.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
that was
what are you
awkward.
doing? And then 4th and 4, they go after Witherspoon again. He's all over Ferguson. That was Ferguson.
Yeah, it
Like
was first.
you got one of the best cornerbacks in the game matched up on a tight. That's
Yeah, the Rams were 1 of 8 on third down yesterday.
yeah.
Stafford did not throw well on third down here, which was kind of shocking. But again, I think that's more a scheme than it is him.
Well, they kind of. It's always surprising when the Rams struggle on third down because of Puka. You kind of have the ultimate get out of jail free card, but yeah, I mean, in certain situations, but I got to blame that. And look, nobody wants to blame Sean McVay more than me because nothing. I just think he's so overrated by others. Not that he's a bad coach. I say all the time. But I think he's overrated. People act like he's a bad game manager. He's consistently bad game manager. But he is a good offensive coach, and that's all people care about. But in that instance, look, on 4th and 4 in that situation, you got to give somebody a chance. You can't give the tight end the chance on Witherspoon. Somebody else has got to get that football.
And you have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams on your team. Kyron Williams is on your team.
Exactly. So I got to blame that on the quarterback. much as I
By the
don't want to
way,
blame
what
them.
what ended the Rams season was special teams. Again, their special teams has been bad all year. They changed coordinators. And by the way, they had a good special teams coach. It's not his fault players can't
Yeah.
make plays. But I
By the way,
digress.
you know, boy, that was so bad. You start to think about, she's shaving some points there. Boy, what is he doing? Just falling to the ground.
I don't get what anything Xavier Smith is doing. Then people are questioning McVay. Why is Kyron Williams back there? I'm like, because he's just going to catch the football and not fumble it.
Yeah, maybe should have went to that in week 10 or whatever. They've had so many issues, but and then Reek Woolen. I thought Reek
Oh
Woolen,
wow,
that is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on a football
yeah.
field in my life.
Yeah, I had problems with taunting overall, but man, did he ask for it? You're taunting coaches. First off, you never taunt a coach, never. So
He was
was
taunting Matthew Stafford. Matthew went right after him when he got the penalty touchdown.
Yeah, and the coach wasn't even saying anything to him.
Yeah, that was just
Reek Woolen almost cost them a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, he did. But that was what it's interesting because again, fans are like, well, Sean McVay scheming people open, not on 4th and 4. One of the Kubiaks, I get them mixed up, is scheming people open.
Clint,
yeah, right.
There's so many damn Kubiaks.
So here's the funny Mike McDonald story for you guys, by the way. So the owners' meetings were in Orlando, 2 years ago? It was Mike McDonald's first year. He just got hired. I'm in line at Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios before the meeting.
You're a big roller coaster guy, aren't you?
I am. And so there's this guy in front of me, and I'm like, why does that guy look so familiar? And I'm talking to him. It's Mike McDonald. I said, oh, Coach McDonald. I never like calling them coach because they're not my coach, but it just popped up. And he's like, no one knows who I am, right? I'm like, well, congrats on the Seahawks job.
Wow.
And,
it's interesting. I don't think too many people still know who Mike McDonald is.
Probably not. I was just like, he looks so familiar. And I'm just talking about Tower of Terror. I said, I haven't been on this ride since I was 7, because that was the last time I was at Disney World until the time. And I said, I hope I don't get the 1 drop. And we're talking about 1 drop, 2 drops. So that's my Mike McDonald story.
Well, people are about to know him if they don't know him already. He's about to get the full Super
Bowl.
That
well defensively, they were getting gashed.
Yeah, they did. That's true.
That guy won 10 games with Geno Smith last year. I don't know how he did it.
Rams had 479 total net yards.
I'm going to make an early prediction for the Super Bowl. Ready? We got 2 weeks till that game.
Yeah, go ahead, make it.
Sam Darnold will be the Super Bowl MVP.
That's not bold. It's early.
You got a 50% chance.
I'm just saying it'll be fitting because how many times have you heard that Jalen Hurts is a top 3 quarterback because he got a Super Bowl MVP? So all those same people get ready to defend Sam Darnold, who will be in that same category. That's my early prediction.
I really do like this Patriots team, but Seattle's just in another league.
Yeah,
I expect Seattle to win.
Much better team. I will be giving New England a ton of credit. They find a way to win that game because I think Drake's
going to have to play better. I mean, he can't play like he did.
He's got to play much better. And the problem is Seattle's coming off a bad defensive performance. They did not play well defensively. Yeah. And they typically their whole thing is not giving up explosive plays. They were giving up explosive plays all over the place.
Well, that's how they can play the Rams too.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. But obviously, they're going to be hyper focused on, and that's all New England does really. They're deep shot or bust. So they're going to be very cognizant of taking away those deep shots for Drake May, who has not played well. And boy, I mean. Yeah, I give him a pass in the second half because of how bad it was. Nobody was going to play well in that, but he's been a fumbling machine even before that.
Yeah, so Patriots
they're
Patriots have
gonna.
scored 54 points in 3 playoff games. I think it's the lowest total going into a Super Bowl all time.
Well, the Eagles scored in the championship game last year, 55.
55.
55.
It's
Yeah.
kind of nuts, like how good. Honestly, the Eagles, Seattle feels like how the Eagles were last year. Although Seattle probably was, they were definitely more battle tested in the NFC Championship game. I mean, to beat the best, you got to beat. To beat the best, you got to beat the best. And where the Rams were the best is up for debate because I've still said they were only 7-5 against teams with winning records this year. But
I get the feel of New England's more like Washington if Washington beat the Eagles, which wasn't even close. But
yeah,
they're not. They shouldn't be in this spot. They earned it, but they're not.
they definitely earned it. I mean, John, who did you initially think was coming out of the AFC when this whole thing started?
Well, I picked Baltimore originally.
Well, yeah, we all did. But I mean, when the playoffs started,
When the playoffs started?
No, AFC. I don't know. Denver, John? I forget who.
No, I didn't pick Denver. I forget who I picked. I think I
didn't
picked
like
Houston.
I picked Houston.
I
Houston
think
was
I
my
picked
pick.
Houston.
Yeah, well, I don't
Because
think
I would-
CJ Stroud is. They should move on from him. No,
I was
literally.
riding that defense as long as they would go.
Well, that's a championship defense. And
I mean,
that-
I
CJ
was
Stroud
too.
played. Not that I'm a CJ Stroud guy, but he played so poorly. Nobody could project that. I mean, he was. I can't even explain how poorly he played.
I thought it was going to be Seahawks Texans. I didn't think anybody was going to go into Seattle and beat them. And
Yeah, I picked the Rams. I picked the Rams and the Texans. I thought the Rams had the best team all year. The most well-rounded team, as you pointed out. They had, they have flaws, but I think that showed yesterday. They moved the football better than anybody on Seattle. Again, 479 total yards. They moved the football at will. Even when they were down, they scored so quickly, get back in the game.
8.3 yards per play, John.
Yeah. They were gashing Seattle. And Sam just hung in there. He kept up with it. So you got to give him credit. But yeah, I mean, these Xander knows. I hate it goes incrementally up. I hate screenshot scouting. I hate one play scouting. I hate one game scouting. All these people, well, they did this in this game, so they're this. Like that goofball earlier in the show. Well, Seattle and the Rams can scheme people open. Why can't the Eagles scheme people open? On the same day, you got a defensive battle between Josh McDaniels and Sean Payton, maybe the two best play callers of over a 15-year period. Boy, I don't get it. I'll never get it, Jeff. I'll never get it.
Hey, John, speaking of the Patriots, where does this Patriots turnaround? Is this up there with like the 99 Rams, the 01 Patriots, the 21 Bengals? Like, do you feel like they're in that stratosphere just based on how bad they were last year, even though they changed?
Well, they definitely it was an incredible one season turnaround. I don't know if they're going to be consistently good moving forward because I'm not completely sold on the quarterback after the way he's played in the playoffs. I mean, I think people are going to hone in at. And remember how easy New England's schedule was. Now they're playing the first place schedule. So now it's going to be ramped up from a week to week environment for them. I expect them to take a step back next year. The question is, do they step back to being 7-10 or do they step back to being 10 wins and a playoff team? Where are you? But I'm very concerned about the way Drake May played in the playoffs.
And look, I don't think the Bills are going anywhere, even though, and again, look, they fired Sean McDermott. We were on the show last week, and as dysfunctional as they look right now, they're still going to be a good football team next year.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to win a certain amount of games because they have the best quarterback. But boy, I do think Sean McVay looks better every day by the way they act without him. I'll say that.
McDermott. Yeah.
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 'Cause
I don't.
Terry Pagula should just go back and stop talking. And
Poor Keon Coleman.
yeah, I know, taking strays.
He's on your team.
And Brandon Bean should just quietly have a whatever he drinks, maybe a nice bourbon, and look at his pelt on the wall, and he got the ear of the owner and he won the power struggle. But you should now all eyes are on you. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. And it's funny too. Like, this is why I like Bills fans a lot. I don't think many Bills fans wanted Sean McDermott fired. I think a lot of them were blaming Brandon Beam for not giving Sean McDermott and Josh Allen a better team,
Well,
because they did.
Sean McDermott wanted Keon Coleman, not Brandon Beam.
That's what they said.
Keon Coleman. And by the way, I don't watch the Bills every week, but I got the feeling, it's the coaching staff that sat that kid down, not Brandon Bean. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I know. Well, there was I think a Bills fan found this. Do you remember the Hard Knocks in season with the Giants? There's like a clip from the Bills.
I tried to forget it, but yes.
Yeah, well, there's a clip with the Bills that Brandon Bean may be a liar.
I think you could take maybe out of that, but
yeah, I know. I'm just trying to be nice here, but I remember he found. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. They did talk about Keon Coleman in that. Yeah, I'm like you, John. I try to forget about that Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
Probably the best Hard Knocks of all time, but
I didn't watch much. I unplugged from Hard Knocks a long time ago. Like I like everybody else, was enamored when it first came on because there was so little behind the scenes stuff.
Now we get it all the time.
It was very cool, but now it's very formulaic. It's the same thing, and teams have gotten savvy to like, we don't want this out there. So, and the Giants only amped that up. Once Joe Shane got portrayed the way Joe Shane got portrayed, which was unfair. I'm sorry, it was unfair. I mean, they edited that. That's
a TV show. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they had that one clip of him talking like, Saquon was, and he was like, well, what if? And then that's what GMs do. Like, if you heard Howie talk about your favorite players, well, what if we did this with insert name? And you have these discussions all the time. Now imagine they cut out the what if and they just talk about trading your favorite player, how that's going to go over like a lead balloon. That's what they did to Joe Shane.
But and that's the power of television. They can do that. And that's why I would never agree to be on something.
Now,
that
doesn't mean he's a good GM, because he's not. But I mean, he was completely misrepresented by that one clip that still goes around.
Speaking of the access stuff now we get on social media, John, don't you hate when they do the whole Victory Monday and they show the locker room stuff? Like, if you want to celebrate like with your team, go join an actual team and do that.
Well, that's become a thing in social media. The winning locker, they never show the losing locker.
Yeah, I can tell you the losing locker room is worse.
Yeah, it doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I mean, I like to see players throw their helmets in the locker, and I know that happens.
Yeah, I mean, guys get upset when they lose, especially big games and big. I'd rather have somebody upset when they lose than somebody that doesn't give a shit. I'll tell you that.
True. And both of them exist, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I get it when I bowled. Like, if I don't execute well in the tournament, so you got bad attitude. I say, I'm not bad attitude. I'm not offending you. I'm just mad because I didn't do well.
Jeff's bowling comp. I love it. Good comp.
Jeff, give me let's bring it back to the OC thing. Give me a timeline. Is it going to end this week? I got a feeling it's going to end this week.
I do too. Like, it's definitely going to end before the Super Bowl. I feel like they're going to come to a decision at some point. There's probably a guy or two they still
They
want to
will come
interview.
to a
Yeah,
decision
we'll
at
come
some
to it.
point.
It won't be as late as Kevin Patullo
We
was.
don't
How
even
about
know
that?
who they interviewed. That frustrates me that the Eagles don't put that, but whatever. But I mean, all of a sudden it's out there that they talked to Arthur Smith. Well, was that a real interview? Was that like a Mike
Yeah.
McDaniel interview?
I don't know what I would do without Diana Rossini right now. She's the one getting all this, most of the reports.
Yeah. So we don't even know if that was a real interview. But I do think people should be cautious. They think like Bobby Slowick turned down the Eagles because he got to Miami. Like, no.
No, that's not how it works.
Now, I
First of all,
can't
you have
say.
to be offered a job to turn down the job.
Yeah, exactly. But now there are certain guys, for whatever reason, like I said, everybody in this league was interested in Mike McDaniel. And I do think guys with options have clearly indicated that this is probably not the place they want to be. But it's a unique setup compared to where everybody else, and it's proven to be successful. So is that the worst thing in the world that they're taking their time?
I mean, if I'm a Declan Doyle, right, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, if I take this job and I resurrect this offense, I'm going to be a head coach next year.
Oh, you're going to be, yeah, he's going to be a head coach at what, 31?
At 30. Yeah, he'll be as young as McVay.
Yeah,
Mike McDonald, third youngest head coach to make Super Bowl, by the way.
Or get fired and go back to a position coach for the next 3 years.
Yeah, but he's got time. He's only, he's 20.
Yeah, he's young.
He'll be 30. He's got time to rebuild.
I'm not saying he doesn't have time. I'm just saying how he looks at it is he probably doesn't want to go through that hiccup.
My intriguing question this offseason is going to linger for a while. Who is going to take the Cleveland Browns head coaching job?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be one of the young guys, Nate Scheelhaus or Grant Udinsky.
You really think Udinsky would leave Jacksonville for that?
I wouldn't, but wait, go back to Declan real quick. What gives him a better chance to be a head coach? Staying with the Chicago Bears or coming to be the OC in Philly?
I think coming to be the OC in Philly just
because
you'll
Philly. By
get your
a
opportunity
million
to call
miles.
plays.
Because with Ben Johnson, you always be, well, Ben does it.
How many coaches have been hired there that were with Sean McVay or with Kyle Shanahan?
A lot.
Well, that's true, but not that quickly. So he'll have to wait.
Oh yeah, I mean, 2 years there. He'll be the hottest candidate. He'll be declining $20 million offers like Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's longer than 2 years. And plus, I don't think it's I don't think Ben Johnson's Kyle Shanahan either. So
no. What do we think about Matt Nagy? Do you like him?
Yeah, I like him.
I like him.
I don't know why everybody shits on him. I mean, what is he doing?
No, I mean, I don't think. I think when you look at the resume and you look at the years of experience. I mean, John rightfully points out he took the Chicago Bears to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky. I mean, they have a playoff win with Mitch Trubisky, and that team sucked before he was there, and they sucked after he left. So, I mean, I think Matt Nagy's done some decent things. It's funny how
they didn't win in the playoffs, but they made
the they didn't win a game. Yeah. I thought they won a game.
No, he was coach of the double doink game.
Yeah,
it's funny how the NFL community latches on to ripping certain people more than other people. It's like,
this is my favorite. Why does everybody hate Andy Reid assistants? Like the last time I checked, Andy Reid has a very successful coaching tree. What are we doing here?
Well, I think that it is weird because in Andy's case, I think everybody stems up. Well, that's Andy, and that Andy does it all. But when you have other guys who do it all, like Kyle or Sean McVay, then it's like like anybody who's ever had a cup of coffee gets an interview with anybody who's ever had a cup of coffee with Sean McVay gets an interview. Anybody. There's talk
Kevin O'Connell.
There's talk that Mike LaFleur might be the Cardinals coach. Out of nowhere.
That's nuts. Well, no one wants that job either.
Yeah. Well, all the jobs left.
What do you guys think Gannon going to the Packers? He's going to be the Packers.
I love that move for the Packers. I think it's a great hire.
Yeah, Jonathan's going to look good as long as Micah comes back.
By the way, the Packers, man, they really look toward the Eagles pipeline there. They're like, Christian Parker, okay, we can get him. Let's see if we can get Gannon.
Well, I think the Cowboys and Packers were battling between Christian Parker and Jonathan Gannon. I think the Cowboys made their decision first, and then Gannon landed in Green Bay.
How will he deploy Micah? Will he get the same criticisms as that he got here with dropping into coverage and stuff like that? Well, Mike,
I think Micah's going to have 20 sacks with this guy. I mean, look like
Hassan Reddick. Look at Hassan Reddick. Yeah. No, well, I was, to that point, because I talked to Jonathan about that a lot. Hassan Reddick had never dropped less that season than ever.
It was only like 5% or something like that.
In his entire career, he had never dropped into coverage less. People are idiots.
Well, duh.
He had never dropped. Now, his first season, he was an off-ball linebacker, so he dropped in Arizona his first couple of seasons, really. So he dropped into coverage a lot. But any time since they moved him to edge and sort of rescued his career last season in Arizona, he had never dropped less than that 2022 season in Philadelphia. And everybody lose their mind every time he dropped. So, yes, he will drop occasionally, but no, his vast majority will be getting 20 sacks.
I'll never get the hate for Jonathan Gannon. I just won't. And everybody says about the Super Bowl and, he's thinking about his next venture. I'm like, well, first off, most people do that. Second off, those interviews were happening regardless. Third, he was not the sole reason you lost the Super Bowl. Your special teams was probably worse than your defense that game. And heaven forbid,
Aaron Seabass, that was a terrible decision. Oh boy, I forget who was the punter. They brought in the veteran punter when Aaron Seabass got hurt. Who
was the veteran?
Brett Kern. Brett
Kern. That's right, from the Titans. Yep,
who was not great, but end of his career, but. He knew how to punt. He'd been doing it since, before the Kennedy administration. So he had been around for a long time. And, the Eagles felt this loyalty to Aaron Seabass, who broke his leg, I believe, late in the season against the Giants. I remember he did it on the sidelines. I forget the exact injury, but
wasn't he trying to make a tackle or something?
Yeah. And he was out. And he was working his ass off to get back, and you had the extra time because he made it to the Super Bowl, and they felt a loyalty to Aaron Seabass, and they let him kick in the Super Bowl instead of Brett Kern. I guarantee one thing: he would have kicked the ball the right way, right, Kerr?
Yep.
And
when you kick the ball in the other direction, that's going to mess everything up, and it makes Michael Clay look terrible. And look, that special teams unit was pretty good that year from what I remember, but they were not good in that Super Bowl.
And you know who makes those roster decisions?
Oh, I wonder, John. Who was it?
That is Howie Roseman.
It's a shame. They wasted an all-time great performance from Jalen Hurts and the offense in that Super Bowl.
That was probably the best game I've ever seen Jalen Hurts play. That Super Bowl.
I think it's the best game I've seen the offense. But I think Eagles offense still has the record for the most points scored in a Super Bowl loss.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was Jalen. I don't know if it was his best game, but it was certainly his best playoff game.
He made some throws in that game.
He's had some great games in the regular season.
I'm not saying he has some great games. I just mean for the moment. I mean, that throw to Goddard on the right sideline, where he put it up here, Goddard went up and got it. It was toe tipping that on. I think it was a 3rd and long. There are some throws in that game that I can still visualize in my head.
The touchdown to AJ to start the second quarter, that was right in front of where we were.
That was
more
great by AJ, who had great body control to go and get that ball. But still, you're right. There's a ton of great plays in that game.
Yeah, but it's so funny, Xander. Like, I remember at halftime it was 17-7. I'm like, they should be up more. They should be up more, and they're not.
Yeah.
Is that what it was at halftime? 17-7?
Oh no, I think it was 24-14. I think I got that mixed up.
Yeah, because the
Yeah, it
fumble.
was 24-14.
The
Yeah.
fumble happened, which was a costly fumble.
Yeah, the game would have been over without the
Yeah.
fumble, which I get.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and that was an unforced error, but it doesn't take away that he was the best player on the field that day.
Yeah, but you also have to add in it definitely had a factor, the fumble. There's no doubt.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite
touchdown.
going into last year's Super Bowl was, and I was joking with some of the defensive players about this during the media days. I was like, so how about that Superdome field? They're like, oh yeah, it's going to be more even now. They were like smiling when they said it's going to be more even now. We're not going to have the turf god doing our field this year.
Oh, the turf guy. Yeah,
I think that was like just like their way of joking.
Godfather, is that what it was? The Sodfather?
Godfather.
Yeah.
Was he doing it? Whatever was that his last year? I forget.
Yeah, he retired after that game.
The Sodfather. Yeah, who cares? They both played on the same damn field.
That was my when going into that game, I said, well, the Chiefs offensive line will be the best offensive unit the Eagles defensive line will face all year, but the Eagles defensive line is also the best defensive line the Chiefs are going to face all year, and the Chiefs ended up winning.
People obsess what they want to obsess on because the Eagles had 70 sacks that season. The assumption was that they had better footing, they would have gotten, I don't know, 10 sacks. I don't think the sod had anything to do with blowing coverages late in the game.
This is how I always handle it. You've heard of Orlando Brown. You've heard of Joe Thuney. You've heard of Creed Humphrey. You've heard of Trey Smith. There's your answer.
Yeah, they had a good offensive line. Yeah,
they did
about it. And the Chiefs were a good team, but the Eagles were better. The Eagles were the better team. I used to have that argument with Jody all the time, and Jody's well, they won the game, so they're better. I'm like, come on. You know, there's upsets all the time. There's fluky plays. The Eagles, and that's why it's a disappointing loss. The Eagles were the better team in that football game, but you got to finish it. Doesn't matter. Seattle's the better team going into Super Bowl 60. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but they're the better team.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're favored by 5, the early line, Seahawks.
I thought that was low, by the way. I thought it was going to be 7.
Yeah, 7's big. 6 wouldn't surprise me. It might go up to 6. But they're the better team. But we're going to play the game because sometimes the better team doesn't win.
Sure. As the Eagles learned. I mean, look, the Patriots were the better team than the 17 Eagles.
I wonder who the Eagles fans want to win. Do they want Darnold and the Seahawks to win? Do they want the AFC team to win? I know they got a history.
I got to kick out my buddy Elliot. I'll give him a shout out. Elliot Shore Parks from WIP did a rooting guide for the weekend. And I laughed out loud. His summation on you should vote for the Rams because if Darnold wins in all of the offseason list, he'll be ahead of Jalen Hurts.
Isn't he already ahead of him?
I laughed out loud. I forget the New England Denver. I forget what the pick was there.
All right. So the Seahawks are going. Is Darnold better than Jalen?
Depends what offense you're playing. As with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we putting Sam Darnold in the Eagles offense? I don't know if he'd do well in it.
No.
Well, no. You're putting them in whatever offense is better for them. Like you always say, John, you got to build the offense around your players.
Well, and that's what, by the way,
traded hypothetically for Sam Darnold, which would never happen. But if they did, they wouldn't run the same offense.
No, they wouldn't. So for the Eagles,
I'm just saying. So I don't like using the exercise. What offense are they in? They're in their offense. Who's better?
Well, who had a better season this year? Yeah, Sam had a better.
No,
season.
That's not what I asked. Who's better? I'm making you
go because it's not a zero-sum question. So again, I'm not going to accept the premise. I mean, it's not. You know, you're exactly right. We're getting to a point where people are starting to understand if they traded the two quarterbacks, if you have good coaches, and presumably they both have good coaches, although the Eagles don't have one, you're building a different offense around a different style of quarterback. Seattle would do the same thing. And they wouldn't trade. So, yeah, I mean, people can have the argument, and that's for other people to have. I don't accept people's flawed premises. It's not a zero-sum question.
Yeah, once the Seahawks won last night, by the way, speaking of Darnold, once they won last night, I went back to like my early, and I'm talking like June or July, like I thought were moves of the off season. I couldn't stand Gerard Mayo with a passion. I thought he was a terrible football coach. The second the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo, I said that they already won the offseason. And then the Seahawks traded Geno Smith, and I'm like, well, that's another win because Geno Smith stinks. There's so many Geno Smith truthers out there. I'll never understand them. And then they got Sam Darnold to replace him.
But
I think he stinks. I think he stinks.
Won a lot of games.
He also throws a lot of interceptions.
Well, so does Sam. You know,
I think Sam's a better player, though.
Well, so do I, but the most interesting part, here's the interesting part of the Seahawks win for the Eagles from an Eagles perspective, because the Eagles are very ball security conscious, very risk averse to the point of maybe going too far. And the Seahawks have made the Super Bowl. I believe Sam led the league in interceptions or turnovers. It was very close to it.
Let me look this up.
And they made the Super Bowl. So there are other ways to do things. Now, nobody turns it over a ton anymore. You don't have you can't go with Jameis Winston level of turnovers.
Sam was third in the league in interceptions.
Well, add in the fumbles. He's a strip sack guy. I think he's at the top, one or two.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, Geno Smith led the league in interceptions again.
How many did he have? I bet you it was under 20.
Who, Geno or Sam?
Yeah, Geno.
Geno had 17.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the worst case scenario, 17. Yeah, I mean, there are other ways that you don't have to be that risk averse.
Yeah, so Sam had 20 turnovers in the regular season, if you count the fumbles lost.
Yeah, so that's how many interceptions?
14. But in the postseason, how many does he have?
I don't know.
0.
Oh, the big goose egg. Yeah, he's happy. Well, they got very conservative because he was turning it over too much. He had 4 in one game. That's the thing about Sam, though. He had 5, I think, in that one Rams game.
Yeah, he had 5 in the first. That was the game they lost to the Rams. He was terrible. Yeah. And we had the question: is he a pumpkin again?
So that's 25% of his total turnovers is one game. So there's so much context to football that people don't want to.
Well, like the first game of the season he played against the Niners, I'm like, okay, Sam Darnold's way better than this. This is probably just, okay, this is my first game with this team. And then he kind of balled out till that Rams game that you mentioned.
Yeah. So, I mean, that to me is the most interesting part. Do you need to be as risk averse as you are for the Eagles? It's an interesting question.
I don't think I bought the Seahawks. It's funny because I thought they were going to be good this year. I don't think I bought them as a Super Bowl team until they beat the Rams in Week 15. I'm like, okay, I think this might be the team.
Yeah, I didn't look at them as a Super Bowl team. I still think the Rams are the better team, but they didn't win.
Remember, the Rams blew that game in Week 15. They probably cost themselves a chance to host that NFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of Sean McVay game management miscues along the way. But let me hire his lieutenant. He might get 2. Shieldhouse might get the Browns job, and LaFleur might get the Cardinals job. Keep an eye on him.
Clint Kubiak should be getting a head coaching job. I don't think he's going to get one because they're going to be too deep in the year. Yeah. Oh,
nobody wants to coach Eagles offense. That's just what I'm on. Until I'm proven otherwise, nobody wants to coach his fucking offense.
Here's another crazy Seahawks thing, by the way. When does is the last time they lost a playoff game at Lumen Field?
I have no idea
That is a tough place to play, man.
I'm telling you, I think the only time they lost it was the Crabtree game. Oh, no, they won that game. They won that game. I'm going to look this up.
You got the Beastquake game. Yeah.
Boy, you guys think the Minnesota Vikings are kicking themselves today, man?
Oh, yes.
Well, I've been on board. That is the worst.
Oh, here they have, but it's like it like never ends, John.
Well, you have no idea. Not only did they pass up on Sam Darnold, they didn't get Daniel Jones, they didn't get Aaron Rodgers, all in the name of J.J. McCarthy. I've said, at least in the modern era, so I'll go from this century, 2000 plus, it is the worst single personnel decision.
All right, you ready, John?
Ever remember from an NFL team.
You ready for this? The Seahawks have never lost a playoff game at Lumen Field where there has been a crowd.
So they lost in the COVID.
They lost the COVID year.
Yeah. I guess
that is insane.
The placards of fans didn't have the same effect. Yeah, it is a tough. That place is loud, man. Yeah. It's interesting that we all talk about domes are loud, and they are. Some of the domes are very loud, but the loudest places are Seattle and Kansas City.
They were loud when it was the Kingdom too. So this wasn't like it was a revolutionary thing.
Well, they're angry people. That is the first time when I turned on that game. That is the first time I think I've ever seen the sun in Seattle on a field.
Yeah, you're right. It's always like it's either a night game or it's windy or rainy.
Yeah, I'm serious. I don't think I've ever seen the sun, and it was out. Everything was upside down. Everywhere else in the country was miserable, and it was the nicest day ever in Seattle.
They're a different breed up there.
Yeah, they're weirdos up there.
I do agree with Eagles fans. Like that's it. There's no way the Eagles were going to Seattle beating that team. I'm like, well, I could have told you that no matter who the head coach or quarterback or anybody on this team was, because they never go into Seattle and beat them. They can't beat them with Drew Lock's the quarterback.
Very, very tough place to play. They should have won that game. Jalen and AJ went off script. They went rogue, as they say.
Wasn't Jalen sick that night? Didn't he have the flu?
I don't know. Probably. He tends to talk about his injuries and colds after the fact.
I can't believe he's the spokesman for the Sprite commercials.
For who? The Sprite.
Sprite. The Sprite
For
commercial. I'm like, Jalen has like no personality.
Yeah,
he's like in a Sprite commercial.
You're actually right.
That
Sprite commercial. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, come on, Jalen, come on, bring some energy. I thought AJ did a good job in the Geico commercial.
Oh, AJ's great in that
commercial.
Yeah.
I laugh at that one. Saquon's good in the ones he's in too. The Old Spice one I really like.
I still love AJ Brown. I gotta be. I still.
Oh, I do too. I think AJ Brown he's got a personality.
I like that he's a complex dude. I like that I like his. I don't know. I just like him.
I still kind of laugh at the InterEssence stuff. It is InterExcellence, whatever. It's still funny to me.
Yeah, Saquon said so much. There was a point
season ending and I'm jumping on social media again. I just find the whole thing funny.
There was a point with Saquon where like every day I got a new email about a new product that he was behind.
Yeah, last season was crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to just be AJ Brown a day and just tweet or retweet something. He's probably like, man, how many people do you think are going to try to decode this today?
Oh, we got a new name, Frank Smith. Frank
Smith.
I know who Frank Smith is. That's interesting.
I don't. Sounds like my local neighbor up the street who put the two most common names together. Frank Smith.
All right, I'm going to give you the agent spin on Frank Smith. I'm going to tell you about Frank.
Besides the fact that he was the Dolphins' offensive coordinator,
he was the Dolphins' offensive coordinator, which means nothing because Mike McDaniel was the offensive coordinator. However,
he did work with Nick. I thought he did.
In a 2023 NFLPA player survey, he was voted the NFL's top offensive coordinator. Thanks to Frank Smith's agent for that. There you go. Frank Smith.
Coach. Wasn't
Frank
he a line
Smith.
coach? He was with Peyton, right?
Frank,
Let's see. I'm looking
Let
up
me
his
look him up.
history. Here we go.
a Big
Hey,
Bad
what's a Peyton?
Philadelphia
It's
Eagle.
interesting, see, here's another example. Yeah, his background is offensive line. So he was with the Saints. That was his first NFL job, assistant offensive line coach. Then he was the tight ends coach in Chicago. Then he went to Oakland/Las Vegas over this when they moved.
So he was
Tight
with
ends
Gruden.
coach. Tight ends coach. 2021, he was the Chargers run game coordinator and offensive line coach. And since then, he's been Miami's offensive coordinator. So he's another guy. That's with Clayton Adams, who the Cowboys blocked, is their offensive coordinator. He's an offensive line guy. Those two interviews, they didn't get to talk to Clayton. That's probably when they talked to Frank. They want to talk. They want to figure out what the hell went wrong with their running game. That's my take on that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. That's called you're casting the wide net, and you're trying to get input from people around the league.
Exactly. I don't think just by the looks of it, and again, no information. Just by the looks of it, this seems one is I wrote yesterday on Sports Illustrated. This has turned into a two-pronged thing. Obviously, they're looking for an offensive coordinator, but the second part is they're on a fact-finding mission to figure out what the fuck went wrong with their offense, and they want to talk to all these people about it and pick their brains. And it's clear when you get two offensive line, you got blocked by one. They don't want these guys to be the play caller. They want to figure out what's going on with.
That's what you legally get to do in interviews.
What? Find out what, and then do what with that information. Like, what do you mean? What are you trying to get at with what they're doing?
Well, you pick part. Think about Miami and being involved in that running game. Everybody, what the Miami running game? The Miami. It's so inventive. You want to talk to somebody involved in it deeply.
All right.
And say what.
And the Dolphins' offensive line was a little bit better this year.
Frank Smith, Jim Bob Cooter. It doesn't matter what name we bring into the mix. The questions still remain the same. What quarterback is Jalen Hurts going to be? Is he going to be a dual threat, or is he done being a dual threat? And will they have the ability to run their offense, or are they building on the Nick Sirianni offense? If it's the latter,
well, that's that magic question. I mean, can they build on it?
It doesn't matter. You can bring up whatever name you want. I mean, it does. It really doesn't matter. Those are the two questions that we need answers to. And we might not get them until.
I want to run the Nick Sirianni offense that they're hell bent on this. Phillip Rivers. Let's let him be the offense coordinator.
How was Phillip Rivers? He's exact opposite of. He's.
I know. That's what I said. Let's go crazy. But
Nick
Sirianni's been for years.
He's handled things at the line of scrimmage, and do you think Jalen's capable of doing that?
I don't
know. That's not an insult, by the way, people. I don't think there's many.
No.
There's many quarterbacks in this league that can handle it.
Also, it's not an insult that Jalen Hurts has had 13 different play callers in 11 seasons since high school. That's actually a benefit. Ask Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, a lot of that's what I mean. I'm done using that excuse. That's not a good excuse.
It's not even an excuse.
You have another new coordinator, so let's just have you play like shit all year. That's the reason. Sorry, I'm not buying that crap anymore. And that's not.
By the way, did you see Baker taking shots at Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah, that was funny. That was probably the funnier. And you know why it went unnoticed for a while? Because that was the day Keon Coleman was catching strays.
Yeah. I'm not a Baker fan.
Kind of right. I mean, I'm not saying Baker.
I'm not a Baker fan at all.
Baker doesn't win enough for me to be doing this.
I mean, think about it.
He is too much. He is too much of a hothead to be my quarterback. That's not even the right
bring
word.
Cleveland to the playoffs, no, and then they discarded him like he
wasn't.
They acted like he was another list of the names where they had the jerseys of 30 freaking names on him, and none of them did shit there. He did more there. Then they trade for or get rid of him for Deshaun Watson, and they haven't done shit since. I mean,
people can play that revisionist game. There's nobody in the world at that time in that moment that thought Baker Mayfield was better than Deshaun.
But you have to understand how that player would feel a certain way about it. I mean, come on.
If I was in that Tampa front office right now, if I'm in that Tampa,
go ahead,
guys. Yeah, if I was in the Tampa front office right now, I would tell Baker Mayfield, dude, we just lost a division where we just lost the worst division in football. Can you like shut up?
Yeah, I need my quarterback to shut up. That's basically it. Now I know that's not fair. But I can't have somebody who's going to go up like he's AJ Brown playing quarterback. I can't have it. Robert De Niro in Goodfellas. I can't have it. What I mean, there's a certain level of responsibility and leadership that is demanded from that position, rightly or wrongly. And I can't have some guy going off the handle playing quarterback. And I'll tell you what, if you are, you better be MVP level for 17 games, not 5 games, like his agent said. Or who was that? The Josh Grizzard agents.
Josh Grizzard.
He had Baker playing at MVP level for 5 games.
Did the Eagles interview Josh Grizzard, by the way? Did I miss that one?
I thought they were late.
Yeah. Josh is on the list. Josh Grizzard. I don't think he's an exciting member of that list.
No.
As is Frank Smith.
If you talk to X, no one's an exciting. This is such a bad pool. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's a bad pool? Who did you want to be the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, who's a good pool? Who's a good pool and why? Fans have to ask themselves.
Again, the question is the same regardless of the candidate. I mean, what is Jalen and what is the offense? Those are the questions for me. At least that's my question.
Well, I think there's two ways it can go. You can try to evolve what you do right now, or you can try to revamp the whole thing and try, because a lot of people, it's like I've compared it to Chip Kelly and Jeffrey Lurie's sentiment, which I'm not a fan of because I think it was his worst decision as an owner. His explanation for moving off Howie and giving everything to Chip was, well, I have to see what I have. So if you want to use that mentality and say, hey, I want to I can't get Mike McDaniel, so I'm going to hire Mike LaFleur, or I'm going to hire a Kubiak, and I'm going to play this style of offense and see what we have and if Jalen Hurts can do it. You can go that route, or you can go, we know what we have, and let's try to maximize it with the best option. Personally, I would be trying to do the latter. I get why people are frustrated and sick of it because it's not the most exciting or creative or all those words that they want type of offense. But I would try to maximize what I have with Jalen Hurts as long as I have Jalen Hurts. And if I don't want to play that way, I got to
change. People don't want that anymore.
Well, then move off the quarterback.
I'm saying, though, we used to talk about that. All right, maximize Jalen while you have him. It's going to be a shorter shelf life. That was understood early. Well, now that the shelf life seems to be maybe coming toward an end, people want to change the way we play. People want to set it up for long.
Number one would be draft a quarterback and see if you can get something going in a different direction. You know, you're not going to trade for Joe Burrow. You're not going to trade for, I don't know, go sign Sam Darnold after he wins the Super Bowl.
We're heading into year 4 of this contract, by the way, right?
What would you trade for Burrow? Jalen and 2 1s?
At least. My only concern with Joe Burrow is obviously the injuries. A little bit of concern there. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would mortgage the future for Joe Burrow, but that's, you know, I think very highly of Joe Burrow as a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure Joe Burrow.
I'll tell you what, though, kind of a weirdo too. I'll say that he's kind of a weirdo. So, you know,
he is a weirdo.
He's a major.
We're not even sure Joe Burrow wants to play football anymore.
He's a way bigger weirdo than Jalen is, in my opinion.
Well, that's some of the things. I mean, that's where Dom earns his money. You got to get all the background and what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, Right. Yeah.
I don't even think Jalen's a weirdo. I just think
No, I don't either. That's not the right
he-
word for
he-
Jalen. Yeah.
it's weird to describe him, but it's just different. It's
I
nothing wrong
agree.
with
I
that.
agree. I don't think weirdo is the right word for Jalen.
I think Joe Burrow's a weirdo. I'm with you on that.
I think it's
think-
the right word.
I think Jalen is too concerned with how he's perceived in not the football world, like
outside the football world,
like for endorsements and like he wants to be Michael Jordan. It's like, dude,
but you gotta have a personality to be Michael Jordan.
Well, he didn't have much of a personality either, but
Yeah, Mike kind of did.
I don't know. Did he? Yeah,
I thought he did.
When I
but
think
I
Michael
was
Jordan,
a kid.
I don't think personality.
Mike didn't have to have a personality. Mike
Well,
dominated.
Mike's one of the all-time great. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
His game spoke for itself. He didn't need to have a personality. He was
But
Mike.
Mike did open up. He did do a lot of the no Marcus commercials, or he did a lot of the McDonald's commercials. He did a lot of the Nike stuff, and then he somehow did Space Jam.
No, man, Mike was crazy though. Like what? People are still. It's still one of the number one purchased shoes in America in the world.
People are buying old Jordans.
The very
Jordans I had when I was a kid.
No, not even Jordan. The very first Jordan, the Jordan 1. I mean, everybody it's like Mike changed. Mike was different. It's not a good comp. But
it was Bo Jackson, then it was Michael Jordan. Those were the two I thought.
I don't think either had personalities, but that's not the point. He can have the same personality. He's never going to be Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's the biggest star of the world at his height.
He can't be Michael Jordan. He lost the championship game.
I
had to do it. I had to do it.
I love it. Jeff, you're a Jordan as the GOAT guy. I think
God, yeah.
One of the most surprising takes from John, just from what I know about John.
People. First of all, history exists past where someone was born, number one.
Yeah.
Well, Will can easily be the GOAT, by the way. Like, I'm not.
And I'm not saying Will is. I always say if you're in the conversation.
I'm talking more like the LeBron Jordan debate. Forget I get there's a bunch of other guys who deserve to be in the conversation, but society has dumbed it down to those two, which is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, they play different positions, and LeBron people, they really get in their fields if you mention anybody's better than him.
All right, well, Jordan is better than LeBron.
I've always described it as similar to, because everything is contextual. There's never been a more well-rounded basketball player than LeBron James.
Correct.
When people talk about greatest of all time, they want the most championships, and then it's Bill Russell. So it ain't Michael Jordan, it's Bill Russell.
Yeah, it's Bill Russell, who won every year, essentially.
And some people talk about dominance, then it's Wilt Chamberlain. It depends on your definition. But if you're in the conversation,
and LeBron is,
that's fine. That's in the conversation. What I describe him, he to Jeff's point of they play different positions. Well, occasionally, but LeBron can play any position.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally.
Magic Johnson can play any position. Yeah. We've seen him do it.
I mean, there's never been a more well-rounded basketball player. That's my description of LeBron James.
Even over Magic?
Yeah. Well, he's better than Magic. Magic was just as well-rounded, but Magic can play defense the way LeBron could.
I think my favorite defense of LeBron is when I hear people say he doesn't have the killer instinct. I'm like, okay, that guy was trash shooting threes when he was younger. He was trash shooting jumpers. And now he's like way above average at both. So I don't know where people get that.
Well, Magic was a terrible shooter, and he ended his career 90% from the line. You talk about a work ethic.
Karl Malone was like that too. He was like 50% when he started.
Well, Karl was always bad, but Magic.
But he got better.
He got better, but Magic was great at free throws at one point. And he was terrible when he got to the league. So yeah, that's always, what defines all greatness is not only obviously you're born with the God-given ability to get to that level, but then you also have the work ethic, which, you know,
I don't know if anybody put in the work ethic like Kobe Bryant did. That guy was insane.
A lot of people, as gifted as they are, all these people we're talking about, do not work as hard because things comes easy for them. So when you match up the tremendous work ethic with the unbelievable, that's where you get the special players, the really special players. You're muted, Xander.
Yeah, you're muted, Xander. We hear you talking. Well, we hear you.
Well, I see you talking.
Your lips moving. Yeah, we see your lips moving.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, maybe he's having problems on this.
Oh, how about now? You got me now?
Yeah. Now we got you.
I got this great story though, John, in line with what you were just saying. I completely agree. I forget the guy's name. Who's this? The one guy who's big on social media now. Who's a football player. He's him and his wife. I think it's a coach or COCH. I don't know how to say his name. It's Isaiah Rochelle. That's what it is.
Oh, so okay.
He's a defensive end. He was traveling around with Myles Garrett when he was on their team, and it was the middle of the off season, and Myles Garrett invites all the edge rushers to work out, and they're all flying on Myles Garrett's private jet. And he's telling the story. Everybody's obviously drinking, they're having fun. They're going out at night. Myles Garrett's turning, doesn't want to do anything. He's just along for the ride.
I don't even think Myles Garrett drinks.
In the middle of the off season, don't you want to have some fun? And he's like, I don't want to have I'm good. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing anything.
Well, that's like AJ. That's like AJ here.
I gotta work in the morning.
Yeah.
I gotta grind. I gotta be great. And he tells this story. He tells it much better than I told it. But it reminded me though, John, of what you said. When you have a guy with amazing God-given abilities, and then you match it with the relentless, work ethic, that's when you get rare greatness.
Well, there is a sort of a saying around the NFL draft that you'll hear around the NFL when it comes in, as we get into the draft process, and we'll start to get into the draft process heavier, obviously, when the Eagles actually decide who their offensive coordinator is going to be. But in the NFL, it's become, there are no perfect prospects. Remember that, except Myles Garrett. That's what everybody says.
That is one pick the Browns got right.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to get that one wrong. He's just, And you hear the Eagles when the Browns, it's one of my favorite times of the year when the Browns come in for joint practices, and they've done it a few times over the years. You get to see Myles Garrett. It's just unbelievable.
Are like the two people excited to see Myles Garrett?
No, we're not the only two. Everybody's excited.
I know. There are a lot of people are, but it's like you and I just go like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just watch everything Myles Garrett does.
It's unbelievable. I can't even explain to people the difference between him and some really good players like Jordan Mailata. It's like they're in a different world. And unfortunately, his career is being wasted. News: Grant Udinski has informed the Browns that he's removing himself from consideration.
Man, am I shocked.
Right on cue, Jeff.
By the way, which means, to translate that, means he knows he's not getting the job. So that's why he's withdrawing. New deal in place with Jacksonville that will bump his pay, but the Jags are allowing him to continue pursuing the Bills head coaching job. By the way,
I take the Bills job.
This is the first time. That means Nate Shieldhouse, I think, is going to get the Browns job.
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? If you're trying to connect the dots here.
Yeah. But, it's the first time this has happened throughout the league, like with McDaniel, with Dayball, now with Udinski, with Flores. This mentality, he's coming back if he doesn't get another head coaching. Never heard that before. Now it's all over the place. That's
it's like the way. My favorite is poor Anthony Lynn. How many people are going to interview Anthony Lynn for a certain compliance?
Rooney Rule.
Yeah. By the way, his son, hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Anton.
Yeah. Where's he? USC?
He just got the Penn State defense coordinator job.
But was he at USC?
He was at USC, and he did a great job with them.
Yeah. Oh, you're all hyped up. You're all Penn Stated up for Anthony
Rocco
Lynch.
Beck, baby. I'm all fired up. I was so excited when
Did they
I
get a
first heard he
quarterback
was.
in the transfer portal?
They did. They got Rocco Beck. They got Anthony Beck's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got a couple quarterbacks.
All right. We'll see. I'm sure Penn State will be a top 10 level team.
I call them the Penn State Cyclones.
Boy, there's so much. I can't keep up with so much upheaval.
There's
in
a
college
lot.
football. It's ridiculous. It's something's got to change. I don't have the answers, but something's got to change.
I don't either. Like it's weird. Like, but I gotta say this since the last time I was on, the national championship game wasn't played, and am I happy for Kurt Signetti? That guy can coach, man. He always could.
Yeah, it's amazing.
James Madison.
It's just an amazing story, Jeff. The whole
IUP,
thing.
16-0. 16-0.
IUP, John. He coached at Indiana University of Pennsylvania just 10 years ago.
So did Nick Sirianni.
Yes, he did.
And then he left Indiana. I mean, it's amazing. But all right, Jeff, we got to run.
By the way, when is the last time? Xander, you should know this. When is the last time an SEC team has won the national championship?
3 years ago?
3? Or is it 4?
Well, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. So the last 3 are Big Ten.
Big Ten. Why is it the Big Ten better than the SEC at this point?
Because it just means more in the SEC, right, Xander?
Oh, it's better football, but I hear you. I mean, the Big Ten.
I mean, you got to win one.
Xander, did you want the playoffs expanded?
Yeah, absolutely. I did.
Like, where would you go? 16-24?
It's a better product now, you know?
No, I mean, not outside the 12. I love the 12, but do you want it expanded more like the Big Ten and SEC one?
I think they could do maybe like, I wouldn't go to 24. I think that's.
I wouldn't either.
I think 16 would probably be your top if you go to 16. Or like the NFL has what, 14 teams?
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be a bad move.
But I like the 12. Like,
the only thing I don't like right now,
Jeff,
is I think there's a little too many. Like, do too many people have a bye week? I know you have to with 12 teams, but that's where if you went to 14,
yeah,
the top 2 bye weeks, does that change it a little bit? I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't mind 12 if you took the 12 best teams, but you know, I got a problem with some bullshit teams being in there.
I agree.
I think, you know.
Well, you know, they changed it again. Like, if you win the Power 4 conference, no matter what, you're in.
I think
so. Like, Duke would have gotten in this year.
I think there are 2 teams that weren't even in it that could have been the national champions. Because I think at the end of the season, Texas and Notre Dame were playing better than anybody.
They weren't
even in it.
I had an argument for Notre Dame to be in. I didn't think they should have gotten in because they did lose to Miami, and that's what the call was. But yeah, if you take the 12 best, I agree with John. But the rules are the rules, and that's how you got Tulane and James Madison.
I don't think the greatest coach in the history of the world was beating Texas. How about that?
Signetti?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Or I don't think the greatest coach in the history of the world was beating Jeremiah Love if he got in there. How about that?
Jeremiah Love's a stud, man.
Oh,
what a player.
I'm taking that kid in the top 10.
I can't wait till Kansas City gets him.
I don't know who's going to get him, but man, he's a good. You know what? I hope it's a good team because obviously a shitty team is not prepared to take advantage.
I still say Ashton Gianti is a better running back than what he showed this year.
Yeah, shitty teams should not take running backs. But if there's a good team, even a team on the cusp of breaking through from, you know, sort of 500, nobody's 500 now with the stupid 17 games, but say 8-9 win team, he'll get you over the top. That kid will get you over the top. He is tremendous. But, you know, if you're a 2-win team, I wouldn't recommend ever taking a running back, even if that running back is Walter Payton. I wouldn't recommend taking a running back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still annoyed by this time of year. Like, I know a big topic was, I'll bring back Sean Payton here. How if you win a Super Bowl at one spot, you don't win at the next spot. Like, do people realize how hard it is to even get to a Super Bowl?
No, they don't.
That's why I hate that stupid debate. And I remember, like, I saw a couple tweets were worded wrong. I said, well, no one that's ever won a Super Bowl at their second stop. And I'm like, no, teams have won Super Bowls at their second stop. Andy Reid did.
Yeah.
Like, you're wording it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't win one here. But, you know, it look, I say it all the time. You know, people just want to be right. You know,
yeah,
so
it's unfortunate. Sean Payne's a hell of a coach. He's not. I don't like him as a person, but he's a hell of a coach.
like think about every NFC or AFC championship game ever. Those aren't big games. Divisional round. Those aren't big games. Any playoff
They're big games. That's the Elite Eight. That's what you want. That's how I look at it. That's the Elite Eight.
So you talk about, well, Andy Reid here couldn't win the big one. That was couldn't win the big one. Like those aren't big games. Winning all those playoff games.
Yeah. You got a winning playoff record here in Philly.
Yeah, it's just silly. And you'll see the same thing with Sam. If Sam doesn't play well in the Super Bowl, well, Sam, what is the term? Turned into a pumpkin. Sam turned him. He's in the fucking Super Bowl.
And he didn't play like a freaking pumpkin yesterday, did he? He played damn good yesterday.
No, but it doesn't matter again unless you finish.
Yeah. Like, this is why I defend.
It used to be Sam, and when big games come, he goes to pumpkin. Now, doesn't mean
Cinderella turns into a pumpkin.
Super Bowl, but as far as I'm concerned, he's corrected the narrative that when any big game comes, that's over now because he played well and
but just to use him as an example, because that was all rooted in him being a bust as the third overall pick from the Jets. And his career obviously did not go as planned early in his career. He literally never played in a big game till last season.
It's true.
Yeah.
So where that everything about the mentality
on his fourth team, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, he was on a bad team with the Jets. He was on a bad team in Carolina, and he actually made them a little bit better than they were. Then he was a backup in San Francisco. Then he got lucky, and he only was starting in Minnesota, by the way, because
McCarthy
got hurt, which turned out to be lucky for Minnesota in a one-season perspective. And he didn't play well.
The last two games of the year. And they made their decision off that, which was kind of goofy.
Which was, in my opinion, the worst personnel decision in the century. Literally. And then he's in Seattle and he wins 14 games again. And now he's not only in the NFC Championship game, he wins it. He's an NFC champion. And he's in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, it was all rooted, and he was the number 3 overall pick, and he was a bust, and everybody wrote him off, all those people that did, which is fine because it's rare where somebody turns it around after, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. And I didn't know. I just had a hunch after learning with Sam Darnold that this guy could play, after learning under Kyle Shanahan. And if he got an opportunity, I thought he'd take advantage of it. He got an opportunity. He took advantage of it.
That's what you want to see, right?
Nonsense of him coming up small in big games. Well, yeah, he played poorly at the end of last season when he was under siege because the offensive line was so shitty. Who plays well when the offensive line is giving up 9 sacks?
You know, I people go, well, Kurt Warner played well in big games. I'm like, Kurt Warner had Hall of Fame talent on the offensive line, at running back, at receiver. It's had a Hall of Fame head coach, Dick Vermeil. Like, it's a perfect storm. Sam Darnold didn't have that. I don't think Kevin O'Connell is a Hall of Fame head coach. I could be wrong in 10 years, but
he thinks he is.
Yeah. But that's why I probably defend Don McNabb as much as I do. Because Don McNabb has more playoff wins than Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Drew Brees. Like,
no, Donovan was very good, but
yeah, he was. But Eagles fans make him look like he's the spawn of Satan. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Man, that guy brought you a lot of winning football.
I think Nick Sirianni talks about that when he's talking about big games. It's like, everybody plays in big games along the way. It might not be a big game to you. Like Iowa State, he was talking about Cooper. That's a big game for Cooper.
Yeah.
May not be a big game to you. But
I think
everybody,
every football game's a big game.
yeah.
There's so few of them.
But certainly every playoff game is. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if you're in the playoffs and you, it's tough to win playoff games in this league. So anyway,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Nick
All right,
Foles,
Jeff.
look what he did in
Good
2
stuff, bro. We're
playoffs.
at the end, man. I didn't even realize time's cooking. We got to run. All right, man. Thank you for joining in today. Make sure you guys follow him at Jeff Kerr PHL. By the way, man, congrats covering the Phillies this year for 97.3.
oh yeah, 97.3 Phillies
And, Mike Gill,
Insider.
our guy, Mike. Yeah, it's going to be awesome to listen to you on there, Jeff. We appreciate you joining, brother.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Got a lot of content coming, a lot of podcasts, so we're excited.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Jeff.
All right, thanks,
See you
bud.
guys.